What's going on, my friends? Welcome back to the Florida series. We're in Key Largo. My dad is suiting up to do some lobster hunting. Ladies and gentlemen, look how rough it is out here, but we have braved the elements. Whoa. And we are the only ones on this very popular snorkeling reef. It's also a little cold, which is why I have the wetsuit on. So we're the only ones out here. We are going to snorkel for lobster in this gorgeous water. Let's see what we can find. My dad is the master lobster hunter.
Well, we'll see about that. Expectations are high now.
Woo! Oh man, it's kind of fun being the only ones out here. It's just us and deep sea fishermen. They're out there on the ledge.
A big one.
Right away, we started finding lobster. In fact, this was the only place we anchored all day, and we just searched around these rocks. We measured this one. He was a keeper, so we were 1 for 1 so far. My dad left me hanging there. There were jellyfish all over this spot. That's also why there weren't people out there. Look at that kind of cool ribbon jellyfish. They were everywhere, and when we first dropped in, I thought we had to get out. But I dropped right in the middle of a bunch of them, and I wasn't getting stung, so they were a non-stinging jellyfish. Or if they were stinging us, we didn't feel it. Like there was some jellyfish just don't have any power in their sting for a human. So we kept swimming around, kept searching under all the rocks. Not every rock had a lobster under it. Some had fish, like that little guy. But I saw the antennae sticking out of a lobster in this little cave. This was the first attempt. I went in and tickled him out. And I'm not very good at this like my dad is, but I tickled him out and got him on the first try, and it was a nice one.
First try. Look at that.
That was so cool. That was a little bit of an accomplishment there for me. And we dropped him in. It was another keeper, so we were 2 for 2 on the day. You can see how many jellyfish there were out there at some spots, just tons of them. And like I said, we were out there for like 2 hours swimming around, and not a single sting from either one of us. But it kind of looked intimidating. It looked actually a little creepy while we were out there at first, but then after a while we didn't even notice it. So I swim down to this big rock here, and I look in, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I saw several lobster under this one rock, and it had some nice big entrances to it. In fact, some of the rocks that you swim down to, there's no way to get the lobster out because they're just way back in the corner, but this had 2 entrances so you could poke them out one side. So you see I'm waiting on the other side. There you go. He pops out and grabbed its antenna, but then he went back in through the back door. So my dad swam down to try to get him. It was a nice little cave back there, but it wasn't a big cave, so it was fairly easy to tickle him out of this one. You see, my dad's a little sneaky about it. Chases him out and grabs him. A nice size one, too. My dad can hold his breath for way longer than I can as well. I need to practice. He practices in a pool, actually, guys. He swims a lot.
Nice job.
He loves practicing holding his breath, and that's why he's a little bit more advanced than me, even though I'm the young gun. So we were 3 for 3 on the lobster. In fact, that one, we ended up measuring, but we didn't have to measure. We could just tell by eyeballing him that it was a keeper. And I noticed something. I swam down right by that same rock. Okay, we were getting our breath, and I was like, wait, do I see an antenna sticking out? And sure enough, there's one tucked back under that little rock. He was kind of protected by the little sea urchins, so I had to be careful poking him out. But he was off to the side. I just saw the tip of an antenna sticking out. Fortunately, the water was so clear. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even looked under that one. And you can see him pop out there, and I miss him, but he goes under the big rock with the other lobster. So we now had 3 in that one cave. So we're like, you know what, we're just going to plant ourselves here and just keep swimming down till we get these lobster out. Look how big that one is. And he gave my dad the slip, went out the front door and ran around the house and went in through the back door.
That's a big one. That's a big lobster. That's a tricky one. I gotta rest. Okay.
So after a little rest, me ancient gets right back at it. He's after that big lobster. There were 3 back there, but we really wanted that big one. And he got him. This was the biggest lobster we'd ever caught in Florida up to this point.
Wow! That's a big lobster.
I tell you what, folks, this is one of the more fun things we've ever done, come to Florida and lobster hunt. And it was cool being out there all by ourselves, too, because normally there are quite a few people around. But on a rough day like that, people just don't get out. But the water was super clear, a lot of cool fish. So we had another little rest, and we got back after the other 2 that were there. We weren't sure if these ones were keepers or not. But he chased them out and went right back in. They were tricky. And then while we weren't looking, one of them took off. He's like, I'm out of here. This is not a safe place to be. So we went after him and just grabbed him. And it was the one that I had tried to capture earlier, because you can see I pulled an antenna off of him. And so he tried to escape. And we measured him, and he was just barely a keeper. So every single lobster we'd caught this time was a keeper, unlike previous times where we've seen a lot of small ones. So we really hit upon a really, really nice spot here. So there was one more under there. My dad chases him out. And this time he tries to do the whole going out the front door and running back in through the back. But my dad was ready for it. And he tried to flee to another rock. Unfortunately, at this place, there weren't that many big coral heads. So he didn't have that many options. This is one of those areas where the hurricanes really destroy a lot of the coral, and it's kind of a coral boneyard at this spot.
We got all of them from under that cave. Oh, that was a good find.
Measured him too, and he was a keeper as well. Look at that fish swimming around in the back there. Not sure what that was. But every single lobster we found under that cave was a keeper. We went 4 for 4 in one spot, in one cave. And then my dad finds this huge conch shell, or conch shell, depending on where you're from. And that was a cool bonus find. This thing was almost in perfect condition and didn't have any creature in it. So it was overall a very, very successful outing. All right, guys, we are back at the marina. Boy, you catch a few lobster, and suddenly everybody wants to be your friend. Not a big heron here. That is a big bird. I love herons. I think they are so cool. Anyway, well, I always have to watch him because we got a pelican over here. All the birds showed up as soon as I broke out the lobster. So I've never cleaned a lobster in this way. So normally what most people do is they just grab it and they like twist the tail off. But this guy in a YouTube video showed how you get way more meat if you took a knife. I'm going to insert it into the side of the shell. I'm going to break. I think I did that right. There we go. I break a little like hard spot in the shell between the last leg and the carapace there. And then I hold the tail down and I lift up on the carapace there. Is it going to work? It is. The head just peeled away. And he said there's a membrane on the bottom here. Break that with your fingers. And then he said, pull the lobster meat up. There we go. I did it. Just like he did. Cool. So look how much more meat I have there by doing it that way. And then I just pull off the guts. The last step, he said, take your knife, put it right between like the eyes there. There's 2 dots. but don't cut all the way. And then I turn it around, I flip it over like that, and I grab the vein out. There it is, there's the vein. Look at that. Pull that out, and I've got a cleaned lobster tail and all of that meat on the end right there. That is cool. All right, let's clean this big one. Oh, that is so cool, that big lobster. I already did this the same way. There's a little spot, last leg, he said between the last leg, there's a spot right there, and I can feel it with my knife. He said, cut that. So I cut that, hold tail down, lift up on lobster, flip it over, break membrane with fingers. Oh wow, it's a thicker membrane on this bigger lobster. There. And then pull right out. Look at that. I left all the guts in there. I got this big, beautiful lobster tail. You see the two dots right there? The knife right betwixt the eyes. And then I push down. There we go. Don't cut it all the way. There is the vein. The poop vein came right out. There we go, folks. And there we got two clean lobster tails. This is so fun. I love doing new things like this. And I guess I just throw this head out. I got all the head meat. All right, I'm gonna do something that may be unorthodox, but I like trying new things. So I'm going to keep these legs. We're gonna grill these legs too and see how they turn out. Because these are some pretty thick ones. There's definitely some tubes of meat in there, but that's dinner. All right, we're at the pool area at this resort. I'm kind of sneaking around the back way here. If we come all the way to the back, they have a little grill hidden right here. I just discovered this the other day, didn't even see it. And oh, that looks nice, real nice. Nobody's in the pool right now because it got quite chilly. Turned out to be quite chilly today. Let's see if this works. Sometimes these grills in the salt water. Oh, starts right. Oh, just like a dream. Just like that. So I've got it hovering right at 300 degrees. It's funny when you try to read about how to cook something online, everybody has their own opinion. I heard everything from cook it to 15 minutes to cook it to 8 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep an eye on it. But I'm going to set it on there, and then I'm going to kind of split it apart like so. And then I'm going to take some butter. This is what one... I'm just going off of... I've never done any of this before, so I'm just going off of YouTube videos and blog posts. Put some butter right in there. And then... I probably should have put salt and pepper in there first. But everybody said, just use a little salt and pepper. It's amazing on it. So I'm just going to put some salt and pepper down in there. Same thing for the big one. You know, on the smaller one, I am going to put some of my first cast seasoning on it. I was about to put it on the big one, but I thought in case my first cast seasoning doesn't go well on lobster, I'm not going to ruin the big one. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hello, I forgot the spider legs. I think I'm just going to throw these on like... You know, these will probably cook really fast, so I'm going to throw them up on the upper rack there. Just like... There we go, just like that. Okay, sweet, we got lobster on the grill, on the bobby. Excellent. You know what I'm going to do? Let's take some butter, and I'm going to just stick it right on the plate there. Maybe a little more. Just like so. And then I'm going to set this right on top of the grill so the plate gets warm, and it'll melt that butter. While we're waiting for the lobster to cook, let's do another giveaway, guys. I'm really enjoying doing these. Let's do a bottle of first cast seasoning. You never know, I might make it a double pack. In fact, I might make it a double pack. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is just comment below this video. Make sure you like the video too, but definitely comment below it. And I'll pick somebody randomly from the comment section. So make sure to comment below. Win a bottle of first cast seasoning. It is amazing, delicious, nutritious. I use it even when I'm not making a video. So... The ancient's coming, and the butter is melted. Look at that, I melted the butter on the plate. And
goodness.
There's our grilled lobster. It's just about done. It looks like it's, you know what?
I don't see any translucence in there. It's done. I don't know about the big one.
I think the big one is done too myself. Yeah, I can see. Look at that. It's white all the way through.
Nice.
Sizzling and popping. All right. Say a prayer real quick.
Thank you so much, Father in heaven, for the bounty of the ocean and the fact that we were able to grab it. And I just ask you to bless it to our bodies now. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Look at that meat. Just
Nice. Okay. All right, guys. That's pulling away. So the tail is fine.
Oh, man.
A hot piece of lobster.
All right.
And then I'll dig my own out from the other side.
Okay.
All right. You want to dip? Now, there is some melted butter if you want to.
Oh, my goodness. Just a bit. Here we go.
Now, compare it, please, to boiled lobster. So we know if, like, boiled is better or this way is better.
The meat is more tender this way.
Really?
Yeah, it's it's not as chewy, you know, kind of. Let me get from the other end here just to see.
Because we want to know, like, should we grill them from now on, or do we boil them, or are they kind of equal?
The texture's different on this one, roasted like this, than the
softer.
other ones. It's softer, but maybe it's because I'm used to it. I kind of like the other way better, I think. But I think because it's saltier or something. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This is the little tail with my first cast seasoning on. I'm gonna see if my first cast seasoning is good on lobster. Ooh, that is warm.
It's warmish, hey.
All right, a little monster. Yeah, it's the one thing that's nice about boiling. A real pro to boiling is that the meat pulls away from the shell. So,
what do you think? Does it seem more flaky or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, it's not as rubbery.
Right.
It's not as rubbery when you grill it. My first cast seasoning, I gotta be honest, guys, doesn't belong on lobster. The lobster's already flavorful enough, and it's sweet. And my seasoning's a little like on the spicy cayenne pepper side. So that didn't improve it. If I do it all over again, I would not add my first cast seasoning to lobster. So no good on. I mean, it's fine. It's perfectly edible.
It's lobster.
It's lobster. But don't put my seasoning on lobster. I cannot believe this, that we're eating
I know.
fresh lobster. Definitely, it's softer. When you boil it, it makes it a little rubbery. You know,
right? It's more like octopus texture when you boil it. But when you roast it, it's
tender.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. So here is the conclusion, guys. Grilling is fantastic for lobster, but don't put any seasonings on it, or you'll ruin the amazing taste. Pops, that was so much fun out there.
What a treat! What a treat! Lisa, thank you again. What a great time.
You're
Good
welcome.
find too, man. That was really
You're welcome. 1K with 4 lobster in it. That was really fun. Guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll catch you in the next one.